Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There is a hadith mentioned by Sayyidina Usama ibn Zayd radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he said, Ya Rasulullah, I see you that you are continuously and consecutively fasting in a month which is not the month of Ramadan. It's the month of Sha'ban. In other words, he was so shocked and surprised that why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the month of Sha'ban fasting. He said, "Lam araka tasumu shahran min ash-shuhur ma tasumu fi Sha'ban ya Rasulullah." Can you explain to me, O Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So, first of all, I would like to mention one thing here is that the narrator of the hadith, his name is Usama. The Sahaba, they used to call him Habib ibn al-Habib, because he was so dearest in the eyes of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before he passed away, before his demise, the Prophet of Allah on his deathbed, he said, "Anfidhu jaysha Usama." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, he had an expedition, and it would be led by Usama radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. But when Usama found out that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is on the verge of dying and he actually passed away, he came back. When Abu Bakr became the Khalifa, he said the same thing of what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, "Anfidhu jaysha Usama," because the Prophet of Allah already has sent them and dispatched this expedition. Usama was only 17 or 18 at that time. And the Prophet of Allah made him the leader of the whole expedition. And in that group, guess who was there? Abu Bakr and Umar. In the presence of Abu Bakr and Umar, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made Usama the Amir, the leader of the whole expedition. This to tell you the position of Usama radiallahu ta'ala an in the sight of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then you have Zayd, the adopted son of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's also Habib, the most beloved to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So sometimes the commentator, they say, Rawahul Habib ibn al-Habib anil Habib Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The most beloved narrates, son of the most beloved, narrates from the most beloved in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anyway, it's a very beautiful hadith. Our Prophet of Allah explained to us. Now here's a question for all of us. If anybody is fasting, how would you know? It's very difficult, right? How would you know someone is fasting? It's not possible unless the person tells you, I am fasting. So Usama saying that I've been observing your Prophet of Allah. He's been following the Prophet of Allah. That tells you one thing, that companion is to observe and follow every act and ibadat and movements of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of them was they used to follow. That is the reason why he said that I've been observing. Or secondly, maybe the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him that he's fasting today. And so he said, how come every day he's fasting like that? So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he answered, and the two things that he said is very important, inshallah. That's the reminder for all of us. Number one, he said, ذَاكَ شَهْرٌ يَغْفُلُ النَّاسُ عَنْهُ. ذَاكَ شَهْرٌ يَغْفُلُ النَّاسُ عَنْهُ. That this is a month that people, they neglected. This is a month that people are heedless of it. Because it occurs between Rajab and Ramadan. Bayna Rajab and Ramadan. Because Rajab is a sacred month from Ashur al-Hurum. And Ramadan is a virtuous month. So you know what? Everybody neglects this month. And it's true, isn't it, everybody? For example, if you want to read the Quran and say, it's okay, Ramadan coming, I'll read it. If you want to observe a fast, you'll say, it's okay, I'll fast 1 month in Ramadan. If you want to give sadaqah, you'll say, it's okay, I'll give it in Ramadan. If you want to give zakah, although zakah is due now, you will say, I'll delay, I'll give it in Ramadan, which is a wrong thing to do. So the Prophet of Allah said, everybody say, I'll do it in Ramadan, I'll do it in Ramadan, I'll do it in Ramadan. How do you know that you will reach Ramadan? What guarantee do you have? So don't neglect the month of Sha'ban. That's what the Prophet of Allah said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Second thing that he said, ذَلِكَ شَهْرٌ يُرْفَعُ فِيهِ الْأَعْمَالُ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى وَأَنَا أُحِبُّ أَن يُرْفَعَ عَمَلِي وَأَنَا صَائِمٌ. Then the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this is a month that the deeds are presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I want my deeds, when it's presented, I'm in the state of fasting. And I don't know which day. Is it going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Therefore I was fasting every single day. Now from this we learn that the deeds, a'mal, are presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Sha'ban. But hang on a second, we also found out that every Monday the deeds are also presented. Thursday the deeds are also presented as well. So how do you reconcile between all the hadith? The ulama, they say, actually every single day, إِلَيْهِ يَسْعَدُ الْكَلِمُ الطَّيِّبُ. Every single day, وَالْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحُ يَرْفَعُ. Every single day, the deeds are present to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But actually, every day is presented, and weekly is also presented as well. Imagine a business person, he gives you a report. He gives you a daily report, then he gives you a weekly report, he gives you a monthly report, he gives you the whole year report. These are different reports. So the angels, every single day, they give report to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And weekly happens Mondays and Thursdays. That's what the Prophet used to fast Mondays and Thursdays. And then it also happens monthly as well. And it also happens yearly as well. This one is every whole year reports are presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Sha'ban. So this is how we reconcile between all the other hadith as well, inshallah ta'ala. What's the Prophet of Allah is teaching us here is that don't neglect in the month of Sha'ban. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the month of Sha'ban is actually the month preparation for Ramadan. The month is actually preparation for Ramadan. Because look, we don't have a button, we are human beings. You're not going to just switch a button and you're just going to become Ramadani, all of a sudden you become spiritual, you're going to be reciting the Quran. And no, you prepare right now. Once you prepare, inshallah ta'ala, if you get all the books out, if you already identify which Quran, which chapters you're going to read, or if you're going to read the translation, the tafsir of it, which hadith book that you're going to read, which, inshallah ta'ala, book that you're going to read, if you have them all in front of you, you will read, your children will read, everybody in the family, they will read. Otherwise, month of Ramadan will come and go, people will be watching TV. That's what happened every single time. So to avoid TV, to avoid gadget, to avoid less time, screen time on the phone, we need to make preparation, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah give us tawfiq. Jazakumullah khairan.